Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. I just had a bit of a disaster. I knocked everything over. Just getting ready. I was just sitting here thinking, oh, this is going beautifully. And then I have no idea what I did, but everything came crashing down on top of me. But here we are. We managed to get back up, and that's good. So, all right. So, I don't know if everybody's signing on at the moment, or I always like to sort of give it a few minutes before people start to sign on. But anyway, I think we'll just get going after that little disaster before any more disasters occur. So good morning, everybody. Before I begin this show, of course, as always, I have to say good morning to my spirit guide, Grey Eagle, who is right here by my side. And of course, good morning, Chris, wherever you are in the world.
Good morning, Rosemary and everyone.
Who knows? I think we are ready and raring to go. Before we start to take your questions, get ready, get your fingers going, because you know the rules. If you don't play, I'm not playing. So the minute the questions dry up, I'll dry up. How about that? Oh, we don't want that, do we? But I do want to mention that it is Remembrance Day, and in England that's we call Remembrance Day is the 11th of November always, and it's the day that I think all of us in a lot of different parts of the world, we like to take a moment on the 11th, Remembrance Day, to remember all of the soldiers in whichever war who fought and fought so that we could have our freedom, fought so that we could be sitting here doing this. And we remember the sacrifices that so many have made on our behalf. I'd also like to remember not just those soldiers who died during whichever war, but those soldiers who were many severely injured. They gave up their life as they knew it, and I think it's very important. I know that lots of people today think we shouldn't be, thinking about those things. Let's move on. Let's move forward. But I think we should honour all of those, the soldiers, the sailors, I would say the candlestick makers. You know what I mean. I want us to sort of take this moment to remember all of those who gave up so much so that we could have our freedoms. And of course, throughout the years since the World War One and World War Two, we've had other wars. We've the latest being COVID, which was a war in itself, and so many people sacrifice themselves. We have so many doctors who sacrifice themselves, so many chemists, so many people working again in order to give us the freedoms and the life that we need. To that end, tomorrow, I know it's the 9th today and it's the 10th tomorrow, but unfortunately we're not able to do the show on the 11th. So tomorrow morning at 10:30 we will be doing probably a little bit of a shorter show. It depends how many of you come in and want to join in and what you have to say. But if you have someone in your life who you would like to remember, or who you would like to tell us about, or simply just to mention, or for me to mention for you, we'll be doing that tomorrow morning, which will be the 10th. The 11th is Saturday, and of course, in England, and I'm not sure what they do here in the United States, but in England, we have Remembrance Day, which is the 11th, and then we have Remembrance Sunday, which is the closest Sunday to the 11th. Next year, the 11th will be on a Sunday, won't it? I think so. I think that's how it works. But at this time, and when we're talking about these things, my father features very much so in my life, in my thoughts, in my memory. And so I may just tell you a couple of stories tomorrow about my father. I actually told one story. It's a bit of a rude story in some ways. He was a soldier all of his life. What you going to do? But I did, when I went for my therapy and they were talking about Remembrance Day, I told the story of how my father used to parade his soldiers around the parade ground sometimes. Little bit of a naughty story, but you might enjoy that. But I thought I might tell you a little bit about the relationship, the father and daughter relationship that we had. And at that time, I would also, if you've got something to share with us, or if you've got, you want to join in or tell us your story, we'll be very happy to listen. And again, if you simply want to throw a name out there for me to mention someone in remembrance of our brave saviors, those heroes that fought for us, and many died for us, and many were injured for us, and many were crippled for us. So I think it's very important that we do take time out to remember them. Right. Having said that, here we are. This is the show. So, Chris, do we have anybody there? Is there anybody there, Chris?
We have many people here, and they are typing their questions into the chat room, which we are
Great.
grateful for.
Okay, great. So let's go.
First question right off the bat. Kristen saying, "Hello, Rosemary. This is Kristen, Samantha's former colleague. I recently got laid off, and I would like Spirit's guidance on what is for my highest good professionally as a next step. Blessings."
Well, Kristen, how lovely to chat to you. And you might want to call Samantha because, she could do with a little, get together right now. I know she'd love to hear from you. I think the best thing you can do is to sort of set some time aside, and I can give you advice there, because we simply don't have time to do it on this show. But I do understand so many people are struggling, so many people are losing their jobs, or they're at a crossroads and so on. And what I would suggest is that you call, set up an appointment, and we can get going. We can do that. So, all right. Okay, Chris.
All right. So Sharon, Paula, Yolanda, Annika are all saying good morning or good
Good
day.
morning. Good morning. Good morning. Or whatever time it is, wherever you are in the world.
Judith is asking, "I had a lot of trouble with my heart, and I am scheduled for more procedures. These procedures will prolong my life, they say. Isn't my healing between God and me? Much love."
I'm not quite. Thank you, Judith, but I'm not quite sure. Is there a question in there? Because if there is, I'm not quite sure what the question is.
If I'm reading this correctly, she's saying the doctors are saying the surgery will extend her life, but she's wondering, isn't it between her and God, not the doctors?
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, all right. Well, we could say in that case, and there are religions that actually do this and believe this, that they're not going to take medications, they're not going to take treatments, because the whole situation of life is about their relationship with God, and when God decides, and so on and so forth. So far be it from me, if that's the way you want to go, far be it from me to say that you should do that. However, I do want to point out, and I do point out many times to people, that if I had not taken those medical steps, yeah, great story here. Right. If I had not taken those medical steps, I would not be alive now. My daughter would not exist. My grandson, I can't imagine that they couldn't possibly exist. But if I had done that, I would have definitely died. Okay, so I'm going to tell you this little story. So okay, so there's a man, and he's in the ocean and he's drowning, and he's calling out to God. God, help me! Help me! Save me! Please save me! And along comes this little fishing boat. And some of you may have heard this story before. Along comes this little fishing boat, and the guy in the fishing boat calls to the man, reach out your hand and I can bring you into the boat. No, 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 he says, no, God will save me. God will save me. And so he sort of, the little fishing boat goes on. And the next thing, this nice big fancy sailboat comes along, and they see him, and he's still floundering. Somehow he's managing to stay afloat in the ocean, and all the time he's saying, God, please, you've got to save me. Please save me. Help me. Help me. And the guy in this nice beautiful yacht sailboat sort of comes by, and he says to the guy, I'll throw you a life thing, and whatever they call it, and he said, just grab hold of it and I'll pull you in and get you ashore. No, no, says the guy, because his faith in God is so strong, and he is totally aware, and he's waiting for God to come and save him. So anyway, so off the sailboat goes off, and he's still floundering when along comes a huge liner. And the captain of the liner reaches over the side of the boat. They see him, and he's floundering now. He's almost done now. He can barely hold his head above the water, and he's still calling God, help me, please help me. And the captain of the liner says to him, come on, we'll get a boat, send a boat down, and we'll get you out of the water. And the guy says, no, no, no. No, no, no. God will save me. God will save me. Anyway, the liner goes off and the guy drowns. And he stands at the pearly gates. And he's disappointed in God. His faith is crumbling, and he's at the pearly gates, and he comes face to face with God, and he said to God, I trusted you. All my life I've trusted you. All my life I've had faith in you. And here I am drowning, and I asked you over and over again, and you didn't save me. And God says, well, I sent you a fishing boat, I sent you a sailboat, and I sent you a liner. What more did you want me to do? So if God sends you a doctor who can help you, not just to prolong your life, but to live your life in a full and good way, then isn't that God's way of saying, here you go, I'm helping, I'm giving you this opportunity. So if you want to be stubborn and ignore, perhaps it's not the right word. I don't see, here's my problem with people who totally, they don't believe in medicine, and that's fine. That's their choice and that's their way. Got no problem with that. But when they're refusing their children medications and help, and the child dies, I got a problem with that, because then you're not trusting in God. You're ignoring the gift that God is giving you, which is, here we go, we can help you with this. So sometimes I feel that when somebody is stubbornly saying, no, 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 my faith will see me through, and then this small child dies, it's almost as if that person is playing God, as opposed to trusting that God is sending them to a place where they can get help when they need it. Now, I know that what I just told you can cause a huge furore. It's a great argument. We can go back and forth with it. Everybody has their opinions, everybody has their beliefs. But I personally, having been on the receiving end of some phenomenal medical help and guidance, just imagine if I were not here. Just imagine that when I was 20 years old, I died because I looked the gift horse in the mouth. God gave me a way out. He gave me a road to travel, and it was my choice to travel it or not to travel it, and I chose to travel it. And I feel that God had a hand in giving me that and in giving me that gift. That's the way I see it. Anybody got any comments? Please feel free. My intention is not to disparage other people's beliefs. Believe me, I am not in any way, shape, or form disparaging other people's beliefs. But if you have an opportunity to have medical help and you don't want to take it, that's your choice. But that was my point of view. So anyway, didn't expect that, did you, Chris? How are we going?
Good. I'm just going to continue with a few more hellos. Rhonda, Barb, Lewis, Dean, and Dee are all saying good mornings and hellos.
Good morning, good morning, good morning to all of you. I do thank you. Let me take this opportunity to say thank you to everybody who's sort of been so, I've had so much support over the last few months. And well, actually for years, but I'm talking about my hand and my wrist, but thanks. So I take this opportunity once again, to say thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay.
All right. So Lewis is writing in from Arizona. He says, my mom passed last September. Is there anything she wants me to know?
To live your life the best way you can. Oh, didn't expect this bit, but I understand it. To be selfish with what it is that you want in life. Stop trying to please everybody else. Be selfish with you. But if you're in Arizona, I mean, you're in one of the best places in the world, I have to say. I love Arizona. Anyway, Chris, keep going.
Annika says, I mentioned last week my mother sees and talks to my deceased father frequently. When I asked what he looked like, she said, quote, timeless. Isn't that something?
Oh, I love that. Yeah, that is totally. Yeah, because that's how I would describe people. You know, it's so funny because I had this happen to me fairly recently in the last couple of weeks. You know, when I give people consultations, I have their loved ones coming through to talk to me, you know, to really they talk they're talking to the person I'm giving the consultation to. Really, we know that. But as I'm talking to them and they're giving me this information, sometimes the person that I'm giving the consultation to will say things like, "Oh yeah, you that." Yeah, he was like that. Oh yeah, you've got that right. You've got him. That's just how he used to be. Now, and I have to explain, no, that's how he is now, still now. He's in my living room. I'm not talking to an idea of him. I'm talking to the man himself or the woman, whoever it is. And I think it's really hard for people to grasp this timelessness of our loved ones. And when we pass into the spirit world, we are timeless and we continue. But it is hard sometimes for people to understand that I'm not just sitting there saying, "Oh yeah, yeah." Wait a minute. I'm feeling. Yep, I'm feeling that they're telling me. I don't do that. I'm talking to the person one on one, and they need to tell me. Otherwise, I'm not listening. And it's important for me because as they're talking to me and telling me what they want to say to their loved ones who are still here, if I get it wrong or I mishear something or I'm not quite firm enough or whatever, they tell me, no, you did, no, that's not what I said, or that's not what I meant. This is what I meant. So I need to talk to people one-on-one, and I think a lot of people have a hard time understanding that. Keep going, Chris.
Leslie says, "Good morning, Rosemary. Do you know when you will do another Gray Eagle Speaks?"
Oh golly, we're trying. It will not be, she says. Oh, you asked me a question, I don't know the answer. I was going to say it will not be until after Christmas, but maybe we will do something for Christmas. I don't know if we've got time enough to get everybody on board, but we'll see. We'll let you know. Now, second guessing myself here. I was going to say in the new year, but now I don't know. Anyway, I take it that that's what you'd like to do. And isn't it phenomenal for those of you who've experienced Gradle, when you experience him one-on-one? Isn't it phenomenal when you hear his voice and when you hear what he has to say and the gentleness with which he talks to us and the information, the wisdom that he gives to us is stunning, I think. So I'll think on it. We'll think on it. I'll discuss it with Greg and see what we're going to do. All right, next.
All right. Judith saying hello from New Hampshire. Sabi McWatch. Hi, Rosemary. I'm still trying to get another reading with you, and I'm so happy.
Who is this?
SAB''E. I'm pronouncing it Sabi.
Okay.
I'm still trying to get another reading with you, and I'm so happy to see and hear you. Blessed be. My great grandfather fought 2 wars.
Oh, wow. Well, it's easy to get an appointment with me. You don't have to try too hard. All you have to do is email. So if you email rosemary@rosemaryaltea.com and you put in a request to Chris, I want to book an appointment with Rosemary. I think we're booking now for March or April or something anyway. But anyway, that's all you have to do. And we'll just send you the information and then you make a date and here I am. And there we are. So you try it.
He says it's winter up north time for fire and beers.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, well, I'd love to know, where are you? Because I know in Vermont it's freezing, it's snowing. Somebody actually said to me the other day, it's snowing. And here I am thinking, oh, this weather's so great. It was in the mid 70s yesterday, mid to high 70s yesterday. Lots of breezes, beach, sun. Am I making all of you jealous now? But there is nothing nicer when it's cold than to sit with a hot toddy, which is like my recipe for a hot toddy. You can use your choice of brandy or whiskey, brown sugar, a cinnamon stick, hot water, and my father always used to put pickling spices in. So you put the pickling spices, then you pour the hot water over the top. And I remember when Samantha was sick, she would be about 6 or 7 or something. She got the heaviest of colds and she was so miserable. So I decided I would make her a very weak hot toddy. And so I gave her this hot toddy. She's all curled up in a nice big armchair with blankets over and she's feeling really horrible. And I said to her, take this, but sip it slowly. And I went into the kitchen to clean up and I'd only been in the kitchen 2 minutes and she said, Mama, can I have another one? She glugged it down. So I gave her another one, a little weaker this time, but she was great. She felt really great. She felt much better. She still had a heavy cold, but she didn't care anymore. So my hot toddies are fabulous, especially when it's cold. You're sitting in front of the bed. I could just make myself one now. Why should I wait for cold weather to have a hot toddy? My dad used to make the best hot toddies. Anyway, carry on.
And I think your recipe for your hot toddy is in your cookbook, so I'll put out the link.
Yeah, it is. Yes. If you've not seen my cookbook, everybody, it's been out for a while now, but you can get it on Lulu. Yeah, and it's called, what is it called?
I think it's Rosemary's Kitchen.
Rosemary's Kitchen, or Rosemary in the Kitchen, something like that. Anyway, and it's got it's a different kind of a cookbook because it's got lots of pictures of me and my family, and you'll find pictures of Samantha, the best Christmas cake you'll ever eat. The pictures on the back cover. Yeah, it is a really great cookbook, even if I say so myself. Chris.
Barb says, Rosemary, it appears that I am able to communicate with my sister
Oh,
who passed several years ago. Would Gray Eagle agree with me that this is truly
no
happening?
doubt. We got an immediate no doubt about it. So don't doubt yourself here. Just don't doubt yourself. Let it happen. I think that's wonderful. I think that's such a wonderful gift.
Paula is saying, I need guidance for daughter on healing from domestic violence.
Oh golly. Um, all you can do is you can be there. You can love her. Um, as a mother, of course, I'm a control freak, so I'm more likely to give advice than not give advice. But often it's sometimes better to shut up and listen and not give any advice and just let things be the way they are and just be there for her and allow her to talk and don't interrupt. Um, Maybe she needs some therapy. We could certainly put her in our healing book, but as a mum, all we want to do, there's such a thing as we like to mother our children, but there's such a thing as smothering our children. And in these situations, they're so very, very sensitive. These situations are so sensitive. You've got to be very aware don't smother. Mother, but don't smother. Chris.
Shamantha saying, is there any message from my relatives in the spirit world for me, especially from my departed brother-in-law, Nagesh?
Hello, Shamant. You're always here, and I love that. Unfortunately, today I don't hear anything coming through. I don't feel anything, but he's around, and he's with you. So you need to hold on to that. Absolutely, hold on to that.
Eric's on, and Eric's so good about always sharing your videos, and he's saying good morning.
Morning, Eric. The bulbs sound better because if you send flowers to Florida, they're going to last 5 minutes. But don't send me huge bags. Just maybe 3 or 4 might be nice. If you'd like to, I'd love them. He knows what I'm talking about. Anyway, carry on, Chris.
Maria's saying hello from Alaska and love you.
Oh, love you too. Is it cold in Alaska? Do you know, I think I've never actually in all the countries in all the world that I've traveled to, there are a lot of them. I don't think I've ever been to Alaska, and I'm told it's absolutely spectacular. But I'm just not sure I'd be able to handle such cold. How cold is it there? Is it really, really that cold? I know people love it, and I know they tell me how beautiful it is. And thank you very much, and blessings to you for your blessings to me. Thank you.
Marina is asking, what do spirit guides like Gray Eagle and those in the spirit world think of world events like the war in Ukraine and Middle East? Can they do anything to alleviate the suffering that's happening because of war?
Well, I think, who is this again?
Marina.
Marina. I think, Marina, I've talked about this so often. Since time began, wars have been around. If you look at the the Native American culture, tribes fought against tribes. If you look at the African culture, tribes fought against tribes. If you look at any part of the world, you will find that wars of one kind or another have gone on since the beginning of time. And really, this is no difference. The only difference is, and you've all heard me say this before, the only difference now is that we're more aware of it because we have the news at our fingertips. At one time, we only knew what was going on in our country. Actually, at one time, we only knew what was going on in our little space, in our little village. And then, the world got bigger, or should I say, the world got smaller and smaller and smaller because we have access to everything that's going on, whereas at one time we had access to nothing and we were oblivious to the pains and the hurts and the wars and so on. But wars have gone on since the beginning of time, and they will continue to go on, so, until this world of ours ends, where there are human beings, where there are differing opinions. You've only got to look at your neighbors, and lucky I have some good neighbors, and those I don't like so much, I don't have anything to do with. They don't bother me. I don't bother them. But when you look around and you look at your community, there are little wars going on everywhere, and there's pain going on everywhere. And I think all we can do is to send out our healing prayers, in specific places. If you wanted to send out your prayers and your wishes for all of those people we perceive are in pain and definitely are in pain and suffering, we can do that, but that's as much as we can do. This is a timeless situation. The only thing that has changed in our world since the beginning of time, the only thing that has changed in our world is that we know more, we see more. We've got computers, we've got satellites up in the air that tell us what's going on. So we see it, and we often feel it, but it's no different than it ever was, and it's no different than it will ever be. It will always be there. There will always be conflicts. That's part of our world, and all we can do as individuals is send our healing prayers, which will work, by the way. If we keep sending those prayers, they will work. But people often want to blame God or that God force that's out there. Why does he let this happen? And I just told the story about the guy drowning in the water. God will save me, and then a fishing boat, a sailing boat, and a liner came along. No, God will come. God will save me. If we ignore the signs and the gifts, if we ignore what God is sending us, that's our choice. God cannot be responsible for our choices and our decisions. We're the ones who are responsible for those. Chris,
Annie's saying, "Hi, Rosemary. It's so nice to see you."
thank you.
Rosemary, I gave up everything to come take care of my 89-year-old mom. But Rosemary, ever since, all I have had is bad luck. I broke my foot. I got shingles. I had cataract surgery. Now I need eye surgery. Rosemary, is this like a curse or just life? Rosemary, will this eye surgery be okay? I'm terrified.
All right. I can recount to you the things that have happened to me, and I know every single person listening is totally in sympathy with you because things like this happen all the time to all of us. So we're all totally in sympathy with what's going on with you. Your eyes will be fine, by the way. I'm told not to worry about that. That's scary. Anytime I get something in my eye or anybody comes too close to my eyes, I don't like my eyes being touched, so I get that. But I'm told you'll be fine. That'll be fine. You could say it's life, but I think there is something I understand. kudos to you. You gave up everything to come take care of your mum. But as wonderfully selfless as that sounds, you also gave up caring for you. So these things are happening because it's fine and it's wonderful that you care about other people. But if you don't care about you, and if you don't take care of you, and you don't, give to yourself your energy and so on, then at some point you're not going to be able to take care of anybody else because you'll be just falling apart, which is not quite falling apart, but which is sort of what's happening, isn't it? So I think you need to learn to be selfish with you. You can do both. You can take care of your mother, you can take care of other people if you want, but you have to be selfish with yourself. And I know people are thinking, oh, I can't believe Rosemary's saying you've got to be selfish with yourself. But you have to be selfish with yourself as a healer, as a carer. If you're not taking care of you, at some point you're not going to be able to take care of the people that you want to take care of. And I'm sure that all the things that are happening to you are getting in the way of you doing what you really want to do, which is take care of your mother. And they're getting in the way because you didn't take care of yourself. You weren't selfish with you. Your mother's not going to suffer in any way. Your loved ones are not going to suffer in any way, shape, or form if you're selfish with yourself. And take care of yourself and look after yourself. In fact, they'll benefit from that because you will be happier, you will have more energy, and you'll have more to give to them. But first and foremost, please give to yourself. That's what you got to do. Chris.
Betta says, Dear Rosemary, a financial collapse has overwhelmed my family. Will we be able to recover? I pray so much to my guardian angel that it happens soon. Do you think my husband will get out of this?
Eventually. Not as soon as you want, but yes, eventually, because he's determined and you're determined. Don't give up. Don't be too despondent. But it's not going to happen as soon as you think it's going to happen, but it is going to happen. All right, Chris.
Rhonda says, I love that, Rosemary. Sometimes we need to be reminded of God's gifts and how he helps us. And I think
Right.
that was in response to your boat story.
Right. Yeah. You know, it's why wasn't God there? Why didn't he help us? Hang on a minute. Why weren't you looking for the signs? Why weren't you looking to see where he was and how, in what way he was helping you? And as I've said, can you, any of you, imagine that if I hadn't taken the gift that God, I feel, gave to me, which was a fantastic surgeon and a fantastic team, hospital team and nursing team and so on. If I hadn't taken that gift, well, I wouldn't be here. You wouldn't know me. And worst of all, my daughter and my grandson wouldn't be here. So when God gives you a gift, you've got to just, gifts come in so many different ways. So don't just think, oh, well, my health is between me and God. Yeah, well, God's trying to help you. So grab it with both hands. Grab the gifts with both hands.
Wayne says, I'm 5 days sober and I pray I can get help to quit this time. Last time I made it to 8 months. What is Grey Eagle saying for help?
Oh, well, Wayne, I'm trying to think how I can explain it to you. As soon as you began talking, even before I knew what you were going to say, I saw this line that goes directly from Grey Eagle to you, directly from the spirit world to you. You have a lifeline, is what I think he's saying. We're all there with you. You just sometimes, when you slip, you forget the lifeline. You forget that you're not on your own. You forget that there are people watching you. You forget that there are people helping you. Grab hold of the lifeline. And as we were talking about earlier on, gifts come in many different ways. So, you are strong enough and you can do this, but do you want to? And how badly do you want to? The lifeline is there. All you have to do is hold on to it and you'll make it. But it's your choice at the end of the day, my darling. I know you can do it. Grey Eagle obviously knows you can do it because you've been thrown a lifeline. I've never actually seen that before. That's a first for me to have seen that for you, Wayne. So do you value it? Do you remember it? Do you grit your teeth? Do you work hard until you hold on to that lifeline, which is God, that God force, and Grey Eagle, I might say? Do you hold on to it? Or do you at some point find it's too hard? What seems to be too hard initially is actually the easiest way, because the route you take when you let go of the lifeline and you go back to the way things were, that's when it becomes really, really hard. So you've got a lifeline, your choice.
Luca is on from LinkedIn. We don't get LinkedIn people on as much
Hi,
as we would like. He's saying hello.
Hi.
Gary is saying good morning and thank you for the butterflies.
You're welcome.
Yolanda wants to know what time are you doing your show tomorrow because she's new here.
Oh, 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. We don't have anything else going on, do we? No. So 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. It'll be a short show, but you will be able to, if you can't join us live, then I'm just trying to think. What is 10:30? 10:30. 1, 2, 3. So that'd be 3:30 British time, I think. Although the clocks went back, so now I don't know. You're going to have to figure it out for yourself. 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. That's 10:30 New York time. And if you can't manage to sort of join us live, you can always find it on YouTube. You'll be able to watch it on YouTube. So and welcome, little newbie, whoever you are. Welcome.
And if people sign up for your YouTube and they subscribe and they hit the bell, they will get a notification for when you go live.
Oh, well, I hope you all understand what Chris just said, because I don't understand any of that. But you subscribe, doesn't cost you anything. You subscribe, you click on the bell, and you get a notification when we're on. How about that? So if you want to be reminded that I'm on, that's the way to do it.
All right. There's still, gosh, it's so wonderful to see all the hellos. The Queen of Shades is saying good morning. Teresa's saying hi, Rosemary. Van is saying hello, greetings from Belgium. Joanne, so happy you are back. Let's see.
Yes, here you thought did you think I'd gone away forever? Did you really think you'd lost me? No, we're tougher than that, I think.
So the Queen of Shades is asking, I would like to ask my ancestors for help with writing a book. Is this possible for them to help? Do they
Oh,
hear me when I ask out loud?
well, you don't have to ask out loud, my darling. They'll hear your thoughts. They'll know what you're thinking. They'll know what you're feeling. But absolutely, yes. Here's the deal, though. It's all very well saying, will they help? My question is, will you listen to them? Because again, we're asking, sometimes we talk too much and we forget that we need to stop and listen. So if you want to help, I absolutely, definitely, they will help you, but you've got to stop and listen to what they're saying. That means, taking 5 minutes, be quiet, listen carefully to what they're saying, learn to trust in your feelings, learn to trust in what those thoughts that come into your head. that seem to come from nowhere, but they're coming from your loved ones in the spirit world. But in order for people in the spirit world to help you and to guide you and to steer you, you got to listen. Chris.
Tanisha says, "Hi, Rosemary. I love to see you this morning.
Oh,
Can
go.
can you tell me anything about my mother? I have so much anguish in my heart over her."
It seems to me that you need a longer time. I can give you this because I'm listening to Gregel, and Gregel is saying, rest easy. She's fine. Rest easy. Other than that, it looks like you're going to need a consultation. So you need to think about that. And you can have a consultation with me. You can go somewhere else and do it. But I'm pretty good at what I do. So anyway, I'm laughing because over the last few weeks, when I started back and started taking consultations again, you have to understand, sort of coming from my point of view, it's been a while, and I'm always worried that I'm going to I want to do the best that I can do for those in the spirit world. The truth is, I'm not there for all of you. The truth is, I'm the voice of the spirit world. I need to do the best that I can for them. But the other day, I was laughing because over the last weekend or so, I changed my room around. And usually I'm sitting in this one place and I'm looking across in the other place. And I'm just used to knowing where to look and getting down to it and so on and so forth. And this week, with my first consultation, I'm sitting in a whole different place. I'm sitting, it suddenly occurs to me, and I sort of making notes on my pad, asking, talking to the person on the other end, and saying, give me your questions. And then it occurs to me, I need to look up, just because I'm listening and I'm paying attention, but I'm also looking for the person in the spirit world because I want to see them and I want to make sure that I'm talking to that person. And I had no clue where to look. I was like, hold on a minute. And I got completely disoriented about what part of the room I need to be looking in as I'm sitting here. And it took me ages to figure it out. Anyway, and everyone in the spirit world was laughing because I couldn't sort of quite get my bearings. I don't quite know where I'm going with this. But basically, they will be there. You just have to sit quietly, look for them, listen to them, and just listen to the thoughts and feelings that come in your head. Chris.
Julia says, "Lots of love from the rainy Netherlands. Blessings to all here and love you all."
Oh,
Uh,
where
let's
is it really rainy there? Of course, it's winter. Yeah. Time for me to put my fire on. I have this wonderful TV and I go on YouTube and I find these fires and it's in a fireplace and it looks really, really real when it's on. It looks like I've got a fire in my fireplace. But of course, during the summertime, I never bother with it. And in the wintertime, I was thinking the other day, I need to put the fire on. Just gives me a sense of warmth and comfort.
Well, it has a nice crackle to it as well.
It does, yeah, it does.
Sylvia says, "So nice to see you and I hope you're well."
Oh, thank you.
Wookie Bear, "Hi, Rosemary. The holidays are always a rough time for me, and I was wondering if this year will be better."
Wookie Bear, attitude is everything. If you go into the holidays worried, concerned, or those are the times often, aren't they, that we're thinking about our loved ones in the spirit world and we get quite sad, or if we're on our own, we don't have a partner, we start thinking, why does everybody else seem to have a partner and I don't? You can go down that slippery slope of negativity very, very easily. But attitude is everything. If you want to have good holidays and if you want to have good experiences through the holidays, you've got to change your attitude towards the fact of looking for what is good in life, looking for what you can find joy in, putting on good feel good movies. All of those sorts of things can help you. But if your attitude is, it's Christmas, I'm all by myself again, I mean, look, Thanksgiving is coming up. I'm all by myself. I've got nobody to go to Thanksgiving with. It's going to be such a really, and I'm laughing because I actually don't celebrate Thanksgiving. But I'm just giving you an example of how you can go that way, or how you can think, oh, great, I've got a whole day to myself. I don't have to do anything. Nobody's going to call me. Everybody's doing their own thing, and I can just take this day. I can go in the pool, or I can sit and watch movies all day long. I can do. Attitude is everything. If you want good holidays, and if you don't want to be in despair over the holidays, when you're thinking about your loved ones who are not there with you, we know they are. Start thinking about all the fun things that you did together, all the good things that you did together. Stop worrying about how you miss them, and start thinking about they're there and they're watching me. So how can we all together make this a great time? That's what you got to do. Chris, I know it's easier said than done, but still, you've got to do it.
Kathy's asking, do you see any?
Kathy, we're almost at time, but unfortunately not today. To be honest, here's the deal. When we first started, we were just about to go live, and I reached for and I crashed everything on top of me, and I'm not at my best. I know you look, see, but attitude is everything. My thumb is killing me because this thing crashed right on top of my hand. So any thoughts of doing anything other than being upbeat, out there, giving my best to all of you, because I know that you're all giving your best to me. I'm afraid today is not, it's not the day. And I'm also going for therapy. And this Dan, I go for therapy. He is he's horrible to me. He's awful to me, right? My friend Mary Lou sitting here. He is so cruel to me, and he hurts me so much, and I come away nearly in tears, crying, and he just laughs at me and he says, no pain, no gain. He's actually great. He's really great. But that's where I'm off to in a minute. So unfortunately, I hate disappointing you guys, but I said earlier, you've got to be selfish with yourself. I'm being a little bit selfish with myself. I'm just going to stay upbeat, thinking about me, and sort of getting on with the rest of the day the best I can. Right, Chris.
Rosemary, it's so nice to see you again. This is Jackie Meyer. I worked with you when we published you at Warner Books.
Oh my gosh. Right. Okay.
Question. Can our spirit guides give us an approximate estimate on our lifespan? Do they see our future or just see our present?
Oh no. Well, Jackie, first of all, do you know that book 25, 26 years or something ago is still going strong? We celebrated last year 25 years publication, 25 or 26, whatever it was. And thank you and all of your team at Warner Books who were there with me on that journey. It was, gosh, it was a great time. It was a tough time, but it was a great time. To answer your question, yes, it is very, very possible to see the future. I do it all the time for people. What I don't do is I don't say this and this and this is going to. Wait a minute, I do say that. Wait a minute, hold on. Let me correct myself. When we're talking about the future, I like to give people the possibilities and the opportunities. In other words, let's say you're single, you want to know, they ask a question you're going to ask is, am I ever going to meet somebody? And the answer would be, It might be no, but let's say it's yes. Yes, I do see this man coming into your life. In other words, we're looking at the future. What you do with him is your choice. He will be the best thing for you, but he will be tough and it will be a hard relationship. So if you want to, you can bypass him, you can run away from him, you can ignore him or whatever. So when we see the future, there are many things in our lives that are inevitable. They're going to happen to us. They're inevitable. We can't avoid them. What we do with them, the way that we are, and our whether we are positive about it or negative, our attitude is literally everything. So it's possible to see the future. It's also possible in many cases to see the outcome, but I like to give people choices because it's not my job to tell you, you know, you're going to meet this man and you're going to marry him and that's going to be it. No, there's so much more to it than that. But yes, I think I can't remember what else you asked me, darling. But anyway, definitely it's possible to see the future. And yes, the time of I believe that when we come to this earth, the time of our birth is written. I know this because I predicted the exact day, date, and the exact time to the second when my grandson was going to take his first breath into this world. So I know that and I've done that for others as well. But for my grandson, it's really important for me. But yes, there is a time to be born, and yes, I do believe there is a time to die. That's it. I think are we almost up for time now, Chris?
We are right at noon, Rosemary.
Okay. So I'd love to keep going with this, but we will be back tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for our November 11th. Remember, if you want to mention someone who you either lost in the war, who was a hero in the war, or whatever, I will tell you, maybe I'll tell you a story about my father. It will not be a long show, but it'll be just a tribute to, and of course on Saturday I'll be thinking about my daddy a lot, and on Sunday we'll definitely be doing so. I might actually cook something that he used to love to cook. Who knows what we're going to do? But anyway, all right, and that's it for today. So I'd like to thank all of you for joining us. I'd like to thank Chris for great facilitating, and more especially I'd like to thank Mary Lou because she's sitting here quietly in the corner, and I would like especially to say thank you to Grey Eagle. So until I see you again, which hopefully is tomorrow, but you never know, definitely next Thursday. And we are planning doing other things. Trust me, you'll be seeing more of me as soon as we can get something going. Until then, please have a very, very blessed rest of the day, everybody. Have a very blessed rest of the weekend. And I'll see you when I see you, I guess. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.